evening we have in the building Professor Dr. David Hatch. But I'm not gonna tell you about how fabulous he is. I'm going to allow him to do the honors. Mr. Hatch, thank you so much for
Yes.
taking time out of your busy schedule to represent what gratitude means to you, and you are more than
Absolutely.
welcome. Take it away. Take it away, Dr. Hatch. Take it away. So tell us a
I
little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about you. I mean, I know about you, but
okay. Well, a little bit about me. Well, I have a very wide assortment of experiences and journeys that I've taken that have just been absolutely amazing. And I wouldn't trade anything for my journey, all the way from coming from Wisconsin to New York City by myself as a teenager, moving in the dorms at FIT, thinking I was going to be this buyer and travel all around the world.
right.
And life would have it that there's a different journey for me. And it's been amazing through fashion, through HR, human resources, to professorship, to just it's just been a great thing in my life. And I'm now living in Virginia, in a Washington D.C. suburb, with my partner of 17 years. We've built our home and family, and things are going well, and I'm grateful.
There's always technical difficulties. If there's no technical
Yes.
difficulties, then the situation just isn't real. So we're going to work through it. But I have a series of
Hmm.
questions that I'm going to ask you, and I just
Hmm.
need your feedback. What are your thoughts? And so,
Absolutely.
first question is, who poured into you when you didn't have the strength to pour into yourself, and how did that support impact you?
I would say my partner poured into me. When we met 17 years ago, I was in a very bad place, a very dark place. Depression. Um, I had moved away from New York City to this area. I didn't know anything about it. I was just beginning my journey towards my doctorate, and it was very scary. And then I had to have 4 back surgeries and both of my knees replaced. And
Mm,
this altered everything about who I was. And my partner looked into me selflessly and carried me along in the journey, including when I had to learn how to re-walk. And he stuck with me. There were times I couldn't even clean myself, and that man had to help clean me. And he stuck with me, and he has been with me through every facet of my journey to recovery and helping myself live. And so my partner Carlos, I am grateful.
I know that you had a ton of surgeries, but I didn't know that all of that happened.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with degenerative disc disease, and so I had my lower spine fused, and then I have
Oh,
8 pins in the back, and then it crept all the way up, so almost half of my spine is fused, and then they had to replace both of my knees, and so I went through that journey, and it was really hard. The last back surgery, I couldn't walk. I literally couldn't walk. It took 8 weeks for me to relearn and regain that experience.
oh my God. Well,
Hmm.
I mean, God is great.
All the time,
My
and all the
God.
time is great.
Amen. When you think about your journey, what moment stands out as a turning point where gratitude helped shift your perspective on things?
I've gone to war in the military, and I
Hmm.
was in Desert Shield and Desert Storm. And when you're in a place where you don't have your freedom, your ability to serve or worship,
Hmm.
everything that you know is challenged. And I had to find the strength within myself around my surroundings, and I had to find some way to rise above what I didn't even know was going to happen to me. I didn't even know if I was going to make it out alive. I ended up coming out with a combat infantry badge. But what it taught me is after coming out of the military and being in a war and driving a tank, and mind you, I drove a tank from Saudi Arabia to Iraq, from Iraq to Kuwait, and from Kuwait back to Saudi Arabia. And in that journey coming home,
Hmm.
I've learned that life is too short to sweat the small stuff. You have to do your work because at any moment in time, bombs could be falling in your life. At any moment in time, enemies could be coming towards you to take whatever you've earned. And you have to find a way in your spirit to rise above it. And the military taught me you have the strength, you have the reserve to be able to do it, but you have to do your work. You have to do your work.
And how long were you in the military for? How many years?
2 years. 2 years.
Oh, 2 years. Okay.
And I would have stayed on, but again, I started having problems with my back and my knees, and they were like, "You can't stay anymore because you have degenerative disc disease." So I
Oh
ended up
my
having to
God.
wait. Mhm.
How has your faith shaped your gratitude practice in your everyday life?
My faith it has gone through a transition. I was raised in the Kojic Church, in the Churches of God in Christ.
Hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But since I have been on my journey of discovery, my faith has been solely in one place and one place only. That's God. That's not church. That's not pastors and ministers and people who call themselves prophets or whatever. My faith looks up to God. And my faith is that I can do all things with the right mind, the right attitude, doing my work, and learning a lesson. Let me say this one thing. When I first went to the military, something in my spirit was like, don't go, don't go. And then I ended up, because there was something I was supposed to do
Hmm.
that I knew that the universe was giving me to do it. I didn't want to do it. And so I ended up in the military. And from the military, I ended up in war. Now, thank God I came back. But when I came back from war, I ran and I started doing exactly what I was told to do. Because here's one thing that I've learned: God will use you for his glory, or God will use you for his wrath. And either way,
Amen.
he will get the glory. Do your work. Do your work. You might be running from bombs like me if you don't.
Hashtag do the work.
Do the work.
Um, what are you grateful for that hasn't happened yet?
I am grateful for my second my PhD that's coming. I have my DM, but I'm excited about now my PhD that's coming shortly.
A PhD in what?
I'm here in systemic theology.
Wow.
Um, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about my new Mercedes 580 that's coming my way that hasn't happened yet. And I'm excited about the opportunity that I'm getting ready to start here in the DMV area with working with young men who are struggling with mental illness and how to navigate the challenges of getting through it in this particular area. We as Black men, we're faced with challenges that are quite unique just to us, and how we're perceived and how we move and how we operate. And so we are judged immediately by the moment that we walk through the door. And I'm excited about helping this community and individuals find a way to create their own narrative in their life and not let other people write their narrative. Understanding what struggles and challenges are out there and how they can be overcome. Um, and I'm most excited about that. Yeah.
That sounds incredible. And
Yeah, I'm excited.
congratulations on your new fabulous car and your
So
PhD,
thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Hat. What is one thing that you would like for the viewers to take away from our conversation this evening?
uh, One, as I said before, and I will always say, do your work. I learned a lesson. I thought I was it, doing all my things, going to school, and managing my process. Um, and in one of my classes, we had to do a survey of how people perceived us.
That's interesting.
And and when I got back the feedback, when I got the feedback back, I had to make some shifts. I had to call people and apologize.
Mm.
I had to fix some things. And I had to start looking at myself and look at this narrative that I've told myself. And I had to create a new story. And so that you can break generational curses and things that have come in your life, so that you can understand truly where you are and receive feedback. Be open to feedback. Be open to listening to others. Ask more questions. Talk less. Listen more.
Mhm.
Be open. Be flexible. And don't always be driven by your beliefs.
Mm.
Just be driven by trying to discover what is right because it's right. Try to be open to other ideas, perspectives that are different than yours, and if at best, agree to disagree.
You said, and you said on more than one occasion this evening, do the work. So,
Hmm.
for someone that's tuned in, and I mean, we know that you are well versed
Hmm.
on getting folks over to the other side.
Hmm.
Do the work means what? What? I mean,
Doing your
obviously,
work,
everyone's situation is a tad bit different, but do the work. What are they doing? How do they do it? Where do
do
they
the work
start?
for the first place you start is with you, understanding where you are and being honest about where you are. That means sitting down and having inventory with yourself. If you've been doing the same thing over and over and you're still not getting a result, there's
Mm,
something you're doing in that process. Um, Understanding where your weaknesses are and owning those weaknesses,
mhm.
owning them, understanding what you have the ability to change and what you may need help to change, and be willing to ask for that help.
Yeah.
And then finally, surrounding yourself around people who are better than you.
I love that.
People who are willing and able to give you feedback so that you can receive it. If you have a bunch of friends around you not telling you that you have a booger on your nose because they don't want to hurt your feelings in public, that's a problem. I need friends and people in my life that are going to tell me, hey, fix that, you got a problem there. So really starting there and then building
But
a
I'm sorry, I
foundation.
don't mean to cut you off, Dr. Hatch. When you
Mhm,
say
mhm,
better, so we're not
mhm.
saying folks that have larger cars or bigger apartments or more
No,
clothes. We're saying people who are willing to provide you with the guidance that you
the
need.
guidance, the information,
Okay.
the connection to resources, not
Right.
necessarily resources, but the
Right.
connection to resources. Um,
People
and
who just want to see you to get better. People who
That
just
want to see you get better, who's willing to pour into you.
right. Yes. That's it.
Because all of us who are successful, all of those individuals, they didn't do that alone. Somebody poured into them. And
Absolutely.
so,
Amen.
but you got to be open enough to receive what's being poured. That's doing your work, saying, you know what? I know I typically pop off. You know what? I'm gonna shut my cake hole. And you know what? I'm gonna sit here and listen this time. I'm just gonna listen. It's doing your work means doing the things that you're supposed to do so that when you go on later in life, you can do what you want to do.
Amen.
So doing your work means, yeah, you can go and buy that $4,000 um, Louis Vuitton bag. You can go do that. But if you haven't paid your bills, you're not doing your work. You're a liar. You're a liar. You can't walk around in designer shoes and designer bags and designer this and that, and your basic things aren't taken care of. You're a liar. You're not doing your work.
Oh,
You're
hello.
lying.
Hello.
You're a liar when you know that you have people in your family that you need to make amends with, but you choose not to because either your attitude or your ego, or you're afraid of what their response is going to be. You got to approach it being open, honest, and transparent. And
Because
sometimes
the
that hurts.
elephant in the room is not going to go away.
It's never going to go
There's an
away.
elephant. There's an
And if he
elephant in the
stays there too
room.
long, he's going to tear up everything in the room.
There's an elephant in the room, and it's not going to go away, and it needs to be
Exactly.
addressed. And can someone just
Exactly.
address it so that we can move on to the next level? Because there's an
Exactly.
elephant in the damn room. Oh my
And
God, I hate
sometimes you may be shocked that you're the elephant in the room.
that.
Okay? You're the elephant in the room. Now, how are you going to deal with that?
That's on a
Because let
whole
me
nother
tell you,
level.
I'll give you an example of something. I show up real big,
I know you
real
do.
big. Okay? My sister knows that
I know
I
you do.
don't do well with surprises. I don't do well with people not being honest. I don't do well with people. I don't do well with assumptions, and I don't do well with things that you gotta kind of guess what people mean. I'm not good with that. Something happened with my sister, and I found out that she had approached someone else instead of approaching me. Now I called her. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you didn't call me. Why didn't you contact me? We could have talked about this. I said, how dare you? I said, you know what? I can't talk to you right now. I hung up the phone. The spirit was like, pick up the phone and call her back and apologize. You are human resources vice president.
Oh,
You have been trained in receiving and giving feedback. Maybe
trained.
she didn't give you the feedback because she didn't know how to give you the feedback or how you would receive it. So call her back and apologize. I called my sister back and I said, Carlos, I just want to know why didn't you talk to me? She said, I didn't know how. And I said, well, let me make a deal with you. Going forward, if there's feedback you want to share, give me, I will receive it. I may not like it, but I will leave the door open for us to discuss. That was a learning moment for me because I'm in vice president mode and I'm calling the thing a thing. No, you got to realize where people are and you got to sometimes meet people where they are. And
I love
sometimes
that.
where they are, you have to shift how you are so that they can receive your message. If it's all about you and how you feel, you'll never be able to tap into someone else.
I love that because a couple of months ago, that was the same message that you gave me. You were like, you can't say that. You can't
Hmm.
say that. You
Hmm.
can't say that.
And even though it may be right what you're saying, listen, feedback without compassion is cruelty.
Hmm.
Feedback without compassion is cruelty. We never want to be cruel to people,
No,
but
we
you
don't.
got to give the message. The message is the message. And if you can't always manage other people's feelings, but you got to get things off of your heart space. You do it in a way that doesn't kill someone's spirit, but you got
Mhm.
to get that thing off of you. And that's what we've got to learn to do. We've got to learn to talk to each other more. We've got to learn to get off of Facebook, get off of Instagram, get off of our phones, go to the house. Talk to them. Stop sending an email to your coworker. Go over to your coworker's desk. Can I talk to you for a minute?
Right. Oh God, exactly.
Start cultivating relationships with people in a manner that helps build one another. And anybody that's not building you, any situation that's not uplifting you, anything that's not allowing you to be your best, not the best, but being your best, you have to eliminate it. That's doing your work. That's being honest with yourself and saying, you know what, I need to let that go. That no longer serves me. But I like it. It's what I'm used to. It's what I'm comfortable with. No, you better let that go because it's
Because it
no
no
longer
longer
serving you.
serves you. Mhm. It's
That
not what
includes
you say. It's
friends.
oh,
Mhm. That includes friends,
oh.
families, boyfriends,
All right,
girlfriends,
all right, Doctor Hatch.
dogs,
Well,
cats,
well, he said it. He said it. Let it go.
whatever it is that's hindering you or preventing you to be your better self, it's no longer serving you.
Hashtag let it go.
Let it go.
Hashtag do the work.
That's your work. That's
So
your work.
says Dr. Hatch. What final words of encouragement would you give to the viewers who have tuned in this evening to our episode of Gratitude Live? And we would love to have you come back as well.
Absolutely. Gratitude level. Here's what I'll share. You know, when you're feeling your worst, you're feeling down, you're feeling out, do something for somebody else. Just rise above you. I can't tell you how many times, sometimes it's just a compliment. Sometimes it's just a word of encouragement. Sometimes it's, girl, you look good in that outfit today. And you can't imagine how many times, really, whatever it is. When you're feeling bad about yourself or your situation, do something for someone else. One of the greatest gifts anyone has ever given me. Right before I went into the military, I was homeless. I can tell you every stop on the D train from
Stop it.
205th all the way down to Stillwell Avenue. I can tell you what the biggest issue is for a homeless person. It's not what I'm going to eat. It's not how much money I'm going to get. It's not what clothes I'm going to wear. It's not where I'm going to sleep. Where am I going to wash my body? Where am I going to clean myself? So I've been in that place. And one time I was sitting in Ray's Pizza in New York City. I was sitting there with my head down. I was probably at one of my lowest places. And this sister was sitting across from me. She looked at me and she said, brother. And I turned around. She said, pick up your head. And I looked at her. She said, I don't know what you're going through, And I don't know how long it's been, but you pick up your head. She got up, she touched my forehead, and she walked out. Sometimes you got to be willing to rise above yourself and give someone else a word, and be willing to share, going outside of yourself and doing a little more without any expectation from it. And that woman will never know how she changed my life by just saying to me, brother, pick up your head.
And how many years ago was that?
Well over 30 years.
Shout out to the lady in the pizza.
And Ray's Pizza, wherever you
Shout
are.
out to the lady in Ray's Pizza, wherever you are, who
Because
left words of encouragement.
what she doesn't know is I was in a place where I was about to end it. I was tired. I was tired of being on the street. I was tired of what my family had done. I was tired of things that I had done, and I was done. But those words, pick up your head, is what helped me. And I will never forget it. And I'm grateful for that.
And we're
So,
grateful for her.
yeah, I am. So, people, you can do anything in your life. You can choose anything in your life. I don't care what anybody's doing. I don't care what Trump's doing. I don't care what the government's doing. Write your narrative. Write the narrative of your life. Design it. You put it up. Listen, life and death is spoken in the tongue. So you start speaking out those things. If you say I'm sick, you probably are. Versus, I could feel better. It's a different response. I'm broke. I could use a little more money. I'm broke closes the door to receiving. I could use a little more money, opens the door for more. Write your narrative in your life.
Dr. Hatch. Well, this may be the first time that the viewers have hung out with you, but we go back. I don't
Way
even know
back.
how many years.
Way back.
I
And
want to
for-
say 40 years.
At least 40 years.
40
years.
years.
That's right.
In August,
right.
it'll be 40 years because that's when I started attending FIT.
That's right. About 40 years ago.
It is 40 years that I have known you.
Mm-hmm.
You were a trip then.
I was a mess. I was a hot mess. Let me tell you,
Babe,
I was a piece of work.
Okay. Hello.
But I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for all my friends that came along on that journey. I'm still friends with those people of 40 years or more. I'm so grateful that when we laughed together and we cried together. We lifted each other up. And this is why your podcast is so important. The name, I'm my sister's keeper. I'm my brother's keeper. I'm my sister and brother's keeper. We keep
Amen.
each other. And it's because of those people that have come along the journey with me, have gone on to the journey with me, and are still on it. Those are the things that give me life and keep me going. So bring somebody along on your journey.
I love you. I thank you for taking time out of your day. We have had an amazing conversation, and
Absolutely.
we would love to have you back.
Absolutely. I sure will. Thank you, Dr.
Don't forget to tune in to Gratitude Live. I have another guest that will be on who's amazing as well, but we appreciate you guys taking time out of your evening to hang out with myself and Dr. Hatch. Dr. Hatch.
Thank you. Thank you all. Everyone
Love
take
you.